I've been putting this off for as long as I can, and I cannot put it off anymore. It's time for body work again. I don't want to say failed, but I did not do a good enough job where I feel confident and comfortable leaving the RS with the paint that's on it. Don't like this. I had an issue with painting. Now keep in mind, I am not a professional painter. I have learned as I've gone, and I experienced an issue with my first paint gun that I didn't know until we got like halfway through painting this car. I painted the entire RX-7 like this, keep that in mind. I had a bad pressure regulator on my gun, so when I thought I was spraying at 25 to 35 PSI painting, I was actually at 10 to 15. You see the issue there. If you don't have the appropriate pressure, you're not gonna atomize your paint well enough, it's gonna look terrible, and all of these painting issues I had was from this. Now, I did go ahead, I bought a second paint gun. I have one for color, one for primer, and one for clear. We should be able to get through this. We have a lot of sanding ahead of us. I've got the hood outside. We're probably gonna do the hood and the fenders today. Wow, we have freaking everything, dude. We have freaking everything. I would like to start getting paint on the car this weekend, or at least on the panels, so I can get them back on the car permanently. We are gonna repaint the body as well, because I'm not exceptionally happy with how it came out. So, let's jump into sanding. I'm gonna be using a DA with an interference pad. I've got all my sandpapers, 220, 240, 320, 400, and 600 on the table. Most of the parts that we are going to be painting have already been primered, so it's just getting a good paintable layer. Because we already have the epoxy primer on there, it's already gonna protect the part, so it should be fine. So let's hop outside, let's get to sanding, because we have a lot of sanding to do. The hood is re-prepped again. I DA'd this with 220, 320, wet sanded with 400 and 600, and it's still a little bit dirty right now, but for the most part, any scratches that are in that are 600 grit, so they should be able to be painted over. I don't really see a need to go over 600, so we're gonna get this set aside. Let's pull off the wing. What do we want to prep next? I still have to drill a hole in this for the wiring. All right, let's actually do that. Let's drill the hole in the trunk for the wiring. Let's get the base of the wing prepped and the trunk prepped, get those set aside. Then we'll probably move on to the front fenders, side skirts, rear. I would ideally like to prep everything in this video, so that way when it does come time for us to paint, we can kind of just jump into painting, and we're kind of past the prep work. So it looks like the rest of this weekend might just be prep on this. So we spent all day prepping yesterday. We've got the rear bumper prepped, both of the front fenders, the trunk, and the side skirts. I've got the paint booth set up outside. I've got all of our painting stuff behind me. Now, prior, I've been using this 3M gun. I had an issue with the regulator on it. I put a different regulator on it. Air pressure is now reading properly. I also went ahead and bought this Luma 3 as my color gun, so that way we can try something a little bit different. With this being a pearl paint, I feel like I might get a little bit more consistent results with a gun that is dedicated just for color. So we'll try this out as well. We need to get the paint booth inflated, get it cleaned out, sweeped out, get all the stands set up inside of it, get the parts moved into the booth, clean the parts, and then we can get going. I don't mind using this booth. It's a lot better than painting in the shop because with the booth, it has downdraft. It's got ventilation, it's got an intake, so it helps a lot with removing a lot of the particulate that might be floating around in there. The one downside, I believe the zippers are broken on this. It's been like a year since I've used this thing, so figure something out for that. If we have to tape the door shut, we'll tape the door shut, whatever. So let me get this thing set up, and then let's start doing this. We're gonna paint a little bit different. Normally in the past, I've done primer, let it cure, sand the primer, then paint. This time I sanded everything up to 600, so we're just gonna do 1 or 2 coats of primer depending on the part, 2 coats of base, 2 coats of top coat, 3 coats of clear. All today. I'm not gonna allow things to cure for me to sand in between. I feel like I've seen people paint this way. So we're gonna give it a try because we've been trying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm hoping we get better results today. First up, we need to mix our primer. So we're using Eastwood's epoxy primer. We're gonna do probably 2 coats of this. The only parts I have in there right now, you guys will see I still have the fenders and the side skirts up there. I've got the trunk, the hood, and the rear bumper, mainly because I want enough room to feel comfortable as I'm walking around painting and I don't want to feel cramped. So if we can knock out these 3 today and then those 4 parts tomorrow, that would actually be pretty sick. I don't know if we're gonna be able to or not. We'll find out. The only reason we're adding 1 or 2 coats of epoxy primer, depending on coverage, is any spots that I sanded through, and it may have gone through paint or primer, we want to mitigate any exposed material so that way we can have proper sealing. Using a 1.4 millimeter tip on our 3M paint gun, so that way we can get this primer down. And then we're gonna swap over to the Exodus to do our color, and then we're gonna swap back over to the 3M with a 1.2 millimeter tip to do our clear. 22 ounces, I'll just do 22 ounces, I'll just make 22, so I'll do 11 of this. Paint booth is cleaned, so we should, in theory, be Gucci. will be the last coat of primer. And then we'll let this flash for like 40 minutes. My gun just spit. What was that? I'm gonna have to fix where it spit. I don't know why it did that. All right, we are on to our base coat for color. This is the new Exodus Luma 3 that I got. Haven't tried it yet. Got air pressure set, so I'm curious, man. Curious to see how this does. I was able to fix the bumper, by the way, so that is neat. Oh my God. Alright. There we go. So I think I want it like that. Yeah. Now we wait 15 minutes, which will be, we'll wait till 12:15. What was it? It's 11:52 right now. Then we'll go and do our next coat of the undercoat. I'm a little disappointed. One of my beard hairs did get in the hood, but you know, I guess that means if the car ever gets stolen, I'll be able to know it's my car. So, whatevs. Okay, so now we are moving on to the blue. Actually, I want to empty the water traps before I forget. This is crucial. I have to do this pretty often. Otherwise, the gun will shoot moisture. Found that out the hard way when I was spraying primer on the bumper, which I was able to fix by wet sanding it with some wax and grease remover and then just re-primering the areas I needed. So that worked out pretty good in our favor. Okay, my stir stick has shifted, that's fine. I'm a lot happier with this Exodus gun for at least color. I haven't tried the 3M gun with the proper air pressure now on clear, so I'm curious to see how that does. But honestly, I might buy one of these Exodus guns just for clear. Like, I really like that gun. Pretty good about that one. There was one dark spot, or one spot that was a little bit darker. So we'll give that about 20 minutes. We'll let it flash, do our next coat of blue, but that came out, like, and you're on a, does it look even through the,
I think so. It looks good.
Through the window?
Yeah.
It's hard to see through the window, but it looks pretty even.
They all look really good.
The rear bumper is hard. There's one spot I accidentally went a little bit darker, but it's where the license plate goes, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much.
I see one spot that I think you'll be maybe unhappy with.
Where?
Do you see it?
On the hood?
Yeah.
No.
If you like kind of go where the light is in between.
Oh, that one little spot that's on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. There's nothing I can do. Like,
I think it's fine.
I'm not using a professional paint booth, so there is gonna be some crap that gets in it. I can tack cloth some of it out, but some of it I just can't get.
I think it's
So, it's not a show car, so I'm not stressing it, but it at least looks even now. It is the next day. I've let these parts cure overnight. I left rather frustrated yesterday. The paint booth, that paint booth out there that is now in super timeout, never being used again by us, we had an issue. I didn't even know. I thought we cleaned the paint booth pretty well. The ceiling of the paint booth, there was old white paint from the RX-7 being in there, and flakes of that were falling off primarily into the hood out of everything. So the hood will need to be repainted for a 4th time. Not stressing it. I ordered another inflatable paint booth that is only going to be used for the RS. And after that, I'm just gonna get rid of it. These inflatable paint booths, it's like 1-time use per car. So like as soon as you finish a car in that paint booth, get rid of it. Give it away, sell it, get rid of it, don't use it again. Or if you're gonna use it for something that you don't really care about paint-wise. The hood, like I said, that one needs to be repainted. The rear deck lid or the trunk, that is savable with wet sanding, and the rear bumper actually came out way better than I thought it did. So we're not gonna paint anything else. I did still have an issue with clear coat. It was better, but it still didn't lay down like glass. It is still orange peely, but not nearly as bad as what we were looking at before on a lot of this stuff. We can wet sand the trunk and it'll be fine. The rear bumper actually came out a lot better than I thought it would, and honestly doesn't need much wet sanding at all. This came out almost like, I know it's really hard to see because I got it in direct sunlight right now, but it came out so good. Like way better than anything else. Here, let me pull it back in the shade. Like, I don't know how, but this came out pretty much glass as they say. So I'm pretty hyped with this because this piece was kind of a pain in the butt. The bumpers really do suck, mainly because you have to focus in the areas that are a little bit difficult to paint first. But rear bumper, super happy with this. Little wet sand on that guy, and we should be pretty much good to go on this. Now with the rear deck lid, we still got some stuff that fell into the paint on this, but like if you look at that clear coat, it's a lot more clear than it is on like the body of the car per se. On the body of the car, it's a lot worse. So this is wet sandable and savable. Pretty hyped with how this came out as well. It's just, honestly, it's just one less piece that we have to paint. So after a good wet sand on that, that one should be totally fine. Hood, however, is not. Now, one thing, I'm super hyped with that Exodus paint gun because if you look at the hood, don't look at the clear coat, look at the color. The color came out very consistent. There is no tire striping whatsoever. The metallics laid perfect across the hood. The issue started once we got into the clear coat aspect. So you guys will see all of these little dimples in the paint going literally everywhere on the hood. I could try to wet sand that, but at this point there are now 3 coats of World Rally Blue on that hood with primer and with clear coat, base coat, top coat, everything like that. But color wise, I'm very happy with how the color came out on it. It's just the clear coat, and honestly, the clear coat's not even that bad. I stopped clear coating it halfway once I realized that there was so much crap in this paint that we're gonna have to end up repainting it anyways, but like significantly better results here. To try and improve things a little bit more, I did order another gun specifically for clear coat. It's that same Exodus Luma 3, but it's set up for clear coat versus color. So the way that we're gonna be painting from here on forward, we have the bigger paint booth. The 3M paint gun behind me is only going to be used for primer. That is it. It is now demoted to a primer only gun. We have one of the Exodus Luma 3s that is going to be used specifically for color with a different tip size than the clear gun. The clear gun is set up as a 1.5 millimeter tip from Luma. I'm gonna trust them on this. Their paint guns, I've been happy with the one that I've used so far, even though I've only used it like 3 times. But I'm super happy with how that came out. Color-wise, dude, everything came out so freaking consistent. We're gonna be holding off on painting up until the new paint booth and the new clear gun come in, because there's obviously no point trying to paint with the setup that we have now. We're gonna get more crap in the paint. We're not gonna get as consistent of results as I would like. So we're gonna put off painting for probably about a week until I get that new paint booth in, which, like I said, it is a little bit bigger than the one we had, so I can put more parts in it, especially with painting the chassis of the car back in there again. I think it'll be a little bit nicer. And then as soon as that gun comes in. So that's all I got for you guys. If you like the video, you do go and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to be, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.